Now, Robert Schein is Chief Investment Officer at Blanke Schein Wealth Management. Robert, how are investors reacting to this latest threat by President Trump to block the Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, you're seeing clearly the markets reacting to this weekend's breakdown in peace talks, but at the same time, it's a shift and a major shift from military strategy to economic pressure globally. Clearly, the Straits of Hormuz is the heartbeat of the global energy market, if you will, and so that's the major pressure on the market today, and I would imagine this week as well as this plays out.
Now, that breakdown of the talks could mean that the war is going to last longer than originally thought. And I think, in the past, we'd sort of been seeing that markets were actually hedging that this is going to be a shorter conflict. What are we hearing now from investors?
Yeah, well, you're seeing also that the strategy is to escalate to de-escalate. Let's take a step back realistically, and it's not about winning the war, it's about avoiding a bigger war longer term. So markets are actually taking that in stride, and it can handle the uncertainty of today, even though it's going to take longer. Oftentimes when you have conflicts like this, it's never clear and it's never easy. But markets are actually seeing through that. We have seen in the US markets actually test about a 9% drawdown and hold that and now work its way higher. Obviously, we have pullbacks like today, but I think the backdrop setting up for this quarter, if you will, is going to be quarterly earnings. Earnings in the U.S. are very strong, and that's what's the underpinning and holding the market in there, even though you have such uncertainty.
Now, on Friday, I just want to look at the inflation numbers. Now, I'm wondering what really drove the increase, and could we see more increases to that rate of inflation?
You can. In fact, I don't believe that if you just add in energy, if you will, and in the food and energy component, we haven't seen the full effects. So it's not baked in. So what the Federal Reserve in the United States is going to have to do is take a lot more data, if you will. So it's going to take a lot more time for the Fed to even come into play because of, even though last week's number on Friday showed inflation is, a plus 3%, and the Fed needs it, closer to 2%. So that will take some time. And the real concern is what energy does throughout the global economy, the U.S. economy, and how, if this lasts longer than projected, that's when we're going to start seeing recession in the United States. Probability increase is about 35% right now. But at the end of the day, you have to look at what the market's pricing in on long-term tips. And so the inflationary pressures there are still in line, but not enough for the Fed to cut, at least in the foreseeable future right now.
Robert Schein of Blanke Schein Wealth Management, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
Blanke Schein Wealth Management is a group of investment professionals registered with HighTower Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC, and with HighTower Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor with the SEC. Securities are offered through HighTower Securities, LLC. Advisory services are offered through HighTower Advisors, LLC. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities. No investment process is free of risk, and there is no guarantee that the investment process or the investment opportunities referenced herein will be profitable. Past performance is not indicative of current or future performance and is not a guarantee. The investment opportunities referenced herein may not be suitable for all investors. All data and information referenced herein are from sources believed to be reliable. Any opinions, news, research, analysis, prices, or other information contained in this research is provided as general market commentary. It does not constitute investment advice. Blanke Schein Wealth Management and HighTower shall not in any way be liable for claims and make no expressed or implied representations or warranties as to the accuracy or completeness of the data and other information, or for statements or errors contained in or omissions from the obtained data and information referenced herein. The data and information are provided as of the date referenced. Such data and information are subject to change without notice. This document was created for informational purposes only. The opinions expressed are solely those of Blanke Schein Wealth Management and do not represent those of HighTower Advisors, LLC, or any of its affiliates.